Hey guys, it's Rich, and I'm going to try to do this Imbolc video again. I'm trying for like the fifth time. So, yeah. I tried to do this video one time, and it probably would have sufficed for what the information I want to get past. However, it looked like I was a robot because I was talking off of a teleprompter, and I don't usually do that. So, it's hard for me to do a teleprompter type of video and actually make it seem authentic. It just looks like I'm a talking head and this is what I'm doing. And yeah, so it was very awkward and not at all me. So yeah, let's try this again. Um, so anyway, just weird things. I do have notes that I have on my phone here that I will be referring to. So if you see me looking down, it's because I want to make sure that I cover everything. That's another thing. I started to ramble a lot and I missed my talking points and I had to go back and redo them. And it's, yeah. I think I've been trying to do this video for like the last hour and I still haven't gotten a good take, so. And my coffee's going to be cold by the time I end up having this finished. Not good. So, anyway, I wanted to talk about Imbolc. I want to do these videos for each Sabbath as I'm getting back to, if you watched my video yesterday, getting back into making videos, getting back into the ceremony aspect of doing Sabbaths and whatnot, because I miss the ceremonial aspect of it. I miss the ritual aspect of it. And yes, I have a fire extinguisher behind my head. We are in my kitchen right now, and yeah, I love these funky curtains, and my boyfriend absolutely hates them. He thinks they're old, dated, and ugly. So yeah, I think they're kind of cool. Let me know what you think of these curtains in the bottom bar below, in the comments below. Do you like them? Do you hate them? Or do you like them but they're not going in your house type of thing? Let me know down below. Anyway, getting on to what I wanted to actually talk about. I wanted to do a video on Imbolc, what it is, what it means to me, the significance in both paganism and Christianity, because I celebrate the overlap of those two in my practice. So I can only speak from a Northern Hemisphere point of view. So for those who are Aussie witches, the whole two of them, if you follow the inside joke that we have over at Pagan Perspective, yeah, there's only two Aussie witches out there, and they have both been on the Pagan Perspective, so yes. Anyway, yeah, little joke there, love it. So I don't know the aspect of how Imbolc is really celebrated in the Southern Hemispheres, and most of what I was able to find on the historical celebrations of Imbolc come from Celtic paganism. And so not really other forms of paganism beyond the Celts. So, or as some people say the Celts. Yeah, it's Celtic. Hard C, thank you. The Celtics have it wrong. They're the Celtics. Yeah. Anyway, just something that irks me is the pronunciation whenever it's, of a whole culture, and they get it all wrong. Really irritates me. Yeah, just have some more coffee there, Rich. You're not being recorded or nothing. So, the significance of Imbolc, from what I have found and as I understand it, is this is the first signs of spring. This is the onset of the lambing season, the beginning of spring sowing, the blooming of the blackthorn. This is the midpoint between Yule and Ostara, which it's not exactly the midpoint, but it's celebrated as the midpoint. The actual midpoint would be like 4th of February, but I'm not going to quabble over a day or two. Because, yeah, that's just not going to happen. I don't really follow the Sabbats from the astronomical aspect. I celebrate them more by hard dates. Um, so yeah, that's something that I do personally, just so I don't go crazy trying to figure out what date I have to do something. Yeah, just not happening. This is also the time that we're seeing the lengthening of days. We're really seeing the sun coming up earlier in the morning than what it was during, the Yule time. We're seeing the longer days. They're not extensively long. I mean, it's going on what? It's about 4:15, and it's starting to get a little dim out there, but we're not seeing it dark at 4 o'clock. So, or 3:30. So we're starting to see the lengthening of days. And because of this lengthening of days, we also see candles playing a prominent role in practices of both Christianity and paganism, and that reflects the increasing power of the sun. In Christianity, during this time of the year, it's called Candlemas, and this is often interchanged in my practice with Imbolc. I will either say Imbolc or Candlemas or both, and that's because I celebrate both aspects of my practice. This in Christianity would be the time that commemorates the presentation of Jesus to the temple 33 days after circumcision. You would take a newborn baby, 33 days after circumcision. You would take them to the temple to present them. And you would also, at that time, give a sin offering for the mother, so she would be purified. And that is just, to me, that's kind of antiquated, that a woman needed to be purified because she gave birth. But they had a lot of rules about blood and what makes a person unclean. So in ancient Judaism, or in Judaism, there are a lot of rituals of cleanliness and keeping the body clean and purified. So yeah, you see that a lot in Judaism. But anyway, so purification and the presentation of Jesus at the temple. Today in Christianity, candles are often brought to the church to be blessed, to be used throughout the coming year in the home. And in this practice, the candles are a symbol of Christ being the light to the world. So you can have candles that were blessed by a priest or blessed by the clergy, and then brought home, and you would use that during prayers. You would do that while, asking for any healing or any type of meditation or quiet time with God. So this would be a symbol of purification and with candles. So you see that overlap there. In the Catholic Church, this is also the feast day of St. Brigid of Kildare, which is often argued to be the canonization of the goddess Brigid, who is the goddess of healing, poetry, smithery, and I believe holy wells as well. And I am not an expert on St. Brigid or an expert on the goddess Brigid, so if you are more well-versed, please do share in the comments below all of her aspects. I know that she is a very beloved goddess, especially in the British Isles. So yeah, if that is a patron of yours, or a matron of yours, do comment below what exactly she means to you and whatnot. So, or not even exactly, just a little snippet. Anyway, moving swiftly on away from the obscurity and the awkwardness of stumbling over my words, the Pagan Aspects. This would be usually celebrated around January 31st into February 1st, and the date could vary due to the lambing season, the onset of the lambing season, whenever the ewes would give birth to the first lambs. So again, we're celebrating the Lengthening of days. This would be a festival of hearth and home. The celebrations could include hearth fires. Again, we see the lighting of fire, signifying the lengthening of days. There might have been special foods, divinations, lighting of candles. Again, we're seeing that, and purification. So we're seeing the overlappings here between Catholicism or Christianity and paganism, which I'm absolutely in love with. The overlap there. Holy wells during this time would often be visited, and during the visitation, the visitor would walk around the well, and I always like good a good walking around in a circle. I absolutely have gone down the rabbit hole of the significance of a circle and the significance of walking around something. A couple years back, whenever we did it on Pagan Perspective, I absolutely went down that rabbit hole, and I became enthralled with circumnavigation and whatnot. So anyway, getting back to my point would be that they would walk around the well, they would say prayers, they would give an offering, they would take some of the water from the well, they would bless their family with it, they would bless the hearth with it, they would bless their fields with it, and it would be a way of purification as well as a bringing in of the blessing of a good harvest, which was very much an important part of the way of life. So with all of this brief background, or the rambly background that I just gave you, what does this mean to me? Imbolc is one of my favorite Sabbats. Hands down. You have Imbolc and you have Samhain. Those are my two favorites. Yule is kind of a runner-up, but Imbolc and Samhain are my favorites. So one reason that Imbolc is a favorite of mine is because, for one, it was the first ritual that I ever did at the start of my practice. So to me, that is important. It takes me back to my early days. I absolutely love that. So it's kind of a nostalgia. Also, Imbolc for me is on February 2nd. That is also my grandfather's birthday. And my grandfather and I, we were buddies, and he died whenever I was 6 years old. So since he is in my ancestral pantheon, I honor him by doing a ritual on Imbolc or remembering him during Imbolc. So for those reasons alone, that this has become one of my favorite Sabbats, hands down. This year I'm doing something that I have never done before. Well, partially done before, but not for ritual. I am actually going to make a candle. I thought of blessing my candles as they do in the Catholic Church, but I have so many candles. I mean, I get them by the handfuls. Usually because either I or somebody that I know, my business partner usually, will go into an estate, will buy out an estate, and everybody has candles that they've either burned partially or never touched. They were saving them for a special occasion, or they've gotten them as gifts and, again, never burned them. So I get a lot of taper candles, especially taper candles. So since I have so many of those, and they are all over my house, there is absolutely no way on earth I could find all my candles, bless them all in some large blessing marathon in the way that I would want to do the blessing. And yeah, it's just not a feasible thing to do. It would take, 5 ever, to borrow Cara's phrase of 5 ever. And that's just way too daunting for me. So I scaled it back. So this year, instead of actually blessing all of the candles, I'm going to make a candle and then bless it in a certain manner. So I have made candles before, but I've never done it for my practice. It's been something where I make a couple candles, I put them for sale in the store, and I've always used essential oils. I've never successfully made one from straight from the resins, the scents straight from the resins. And I'm actually going to try that. So I'm using frankincense, myrrh, and dragon's blood, which is my favorite. Frankincense and myrrh are for culling spirits and for purification, and the dragon's blood is for amplification of those properties. So this is actually going to be the candle that I use as my illumination candle in my practice. So it's basically going to be the candle that I use for ritual, for spell work, for just about everything, whenever I'm setting that sacred space. And I'm probably going to end up making 2 candles, one that I can test out and make sure that it works. Because anytime I've tried to do it with herbs before, I didn't drain it correctly or something, or like sieve out the remains, and it didn't burn correctly. So I'm going to have one that I have as the finished product, and I'm going to have one that is the test candle that I'm going to just burn willy-nilly and in my house and for my own personal use. So that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to make this candle, and then I'm going to bless it with holy water that I am also going to make. I'm actually going to make that today. I'm going to make the candle today, and I'm going to do the blessing of the candle tomorrow during Imbolc. So yeah, lots of things going on today. So for the blessing of the candle, I'm going to be using the Roman ritual. It's part of the Roman ritual for the blessing of candles. I do have the actual verbiage on crystalpaganism.com. I will leave a direct link in the bottom bar below, so go ahead and go there if you want to see the actual verbiage of the Roman ritual. I am actually adapting part of the Roman ritual, this part of the Roman ritual, to my practice. I'm taking out things such as the pluralization, because there's not going to be anybody else there. And since I am a Mason, I'm also putting in Masonic language, and I'm also paganizing it. So it's kind of like the Roman ritual meets paganism meets Masonic. So yeah, if you want to read my adaptation to it, that is also on crystalpaganism.com. Again, it's all in the same link. You have the Roman ritual, and then you have my adaptation. And you can also read the basic loose transcript of this video back at crystalpaganism.com. So if you want to just go back and read some of that, I know I've probably forgotten something in this video, and yeah, it's just going to be what it is. And just as a reminder, next week, hopefully on Saturday, I will have the first chapter of Inner Temple of Witchcraft posted right here, so we can start our discussion on that series if you want to be a part of that little book club that I'm starting up here. So join me next week for the first chapter. I might do a vlog here or there, so yeah, just go ahead and stay tuned. I might make a little vlog here or there. I might actually do one tomorrow showing you how the candle came out and whatnot. So yeah, I haven't decided whether or not I'm doing that or not. So anyway, until next time, may you have love, hugs, and ladybugs. At very least, I will see you next Saturday for the Inner Temple of Witchcraft, Chapter 1. And I'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.